Hello there. Welcome to the learning videos of SAP HANA Cloud Integration. My name is Sujit, and in this video, I would like to explain what you should do after you request for your HCI tenants, the real first steps. Now, as an SAP customer, when you request for the HCI tenants, the first thing that will happen is you get a mail from SAP HCI SaaS Administrator, a notification email. Now, let's see what this notification mail contains. Now, if you're an SAP customer, you get two emails saying two tenants have been provisioned for you. One is a test, and the other is a productive tenant. So you can use your test tenant to do all your development and quality related tasks, and your productive tenant to actually go live. And kindly do maintain this distinction among your tenants, because your productive tenants has a lot more, let's say, uptime and visibility in our operations team. Yeah. So what else does this mail contain? This email contains some welcome information, contains your customer information, and then it contains a logon information. Now, once you request an HCI tenant, the tenant is provided to the SAP ID user who has signed the contracts. Now, the administrator is this particular user over here, and the URL to access the account page is provided below. Further details are the addition of your cloud integration and, most importantly, the access URLs. So to access your web UI based URL, this is a link. To manage it via Eclipse, this is the link, and your runtime URL, so the URL to which other systems must send messages to. Your HCI certificate comes recognized with a client key pair, and you can download these certificates from the provided link here. So each customer gets a unique certificate assigned, and also the link to the documentation, and most importantly, in case you have a query or an issue or want to report a bug, the particular component is mentioned over here. Okay, so all good information mentioned in your notification emails. A customer, as I said, receives two tenants, test and a prod. And if you're one of the SAP partners or developer who requested for a developer edition, you get one tenant with all the information that is listed in the other email as well. Now, let's see what you should do first. So as I said, you have the logon information, you have your ID, and you have the URL to access the tenant. So let's access the URL. Once you access the URL provided in the email, you click on log on. So this will direct you to the logon page of your SAP user ID. Provide your SUser ID and your password. And once you're logged on, you can see all the different activities that you can do in the account page. But let's keep it simple. The most important thing that we need to do is members and authorizations. First thing you must do is add users as members to the account. Let's see how this is done. In the members page, I can click on add members and provide all the SUser IDs here. And in case you don't have an SUser ID, kindly register one or get them at SCN with SAP Community Network. You can mention all the users that are there here. This is just an example that I provide. Additionally, you can say whether you would like to make these users as an administrator member, developer, or support user. Now these roles are for accessing this account page and does not have to do with your HCI application. That comes in later. So once you have your users associated here, you have to go to authorization. And let me just tell you a little bit of how the node looks like. Now your HCI tenant actually consists of two different nodes, something called as a tenant management node and a worker node. You assign all authorizations to users in this tenant management node, barring one. Whenever you want to connect to HCI using basic authentication, username and password, and you would like to trigger some messages here on the worker node, there is one role you have to assign at the worker node level. Don't worry about these nodes right now. In another video, we shall explain more about what these nodes mean. For now, just remember, you have to associate all users here, and in your test tenant, it is especially good if you can associate some roles at the worker node level. So now, for example, let's say 1. This user is not assigned any roles. So let me assign the roles. Now, go to your particular account, and as I said here, you have two things to choose from. So you have something called as tenant management node, and the one with IFL map is called as your worker node. You associate all at your tenant management node level. You have all these roles listed down here, but to make it simple, let's associate with auth groups. Auth groups are a collective list of individual roles and that is associated to a different group. For example, administrator, developer, business expert, read-only, and system developer. System developer is something that you associate to an SAP support user. Whenever you raise an issue and we have to look into your system, you have to assign a system developer role for that particular user. An administrator and developer is the most common users that you would be assigning to. So, let's say you assign this particular user as an integration developer. You click on Save. Now, all roles are assigned to particular TMN. However, it is prudent sometimes to associate the ESB messaging role to the developer in the test system. It is using this role where the user, now without all the certificate-based configurations, can send messages to the HCI system. This is quite essential for testing. So you could assign, go to your tenant. Now at the worker node level, you have ESB messaging.send. That means I'm now allowing this particular user to send messages using basic auth to this particular tenant. So there you go. Now you have this particular user who can access the HCI developer tools and even send messages on this particular tenant using his or her user credentials. For further help on the SAP HANA Cloud integration, kindly refer to our community webpage at the SAP Community Network, or you can also refer to a very detailed help documentation found at the following link. So I hope you're learning more about the HANA Cloud integration through these videos. Till we meet in our next video, happy integrating. Bye-bye.